Huh?
Do you have a monkey in your pants?
There you are! Curious, guys. What was the first game you ever bought? Now, I don't mean what was the first game you ever played, what was the first game you ever saw, what was the first game you ever got for a present of your parents or Santa or whatever, but what was the first game you actually ever bought? Me personally, it was for the Atari 2600. I was probably about 9 years old. I remember going to a local sort of independent little computer store. Had a Atari 2600 games all on the shelves, etc. I can't remember what else I sold, but anyway, it was a little independent place, and I saw this one game, and I remember going to the shop with my mum at the time, and this game, for whatever reason, just stood out to me, and I was like, whoa, that looks good. And I'm sure my mum at the time was like, you don't want that, son, you don't want that, pick this, you don't want that. But I was like, oh, that looks good. And that game was this: Mario Bros. Or Mario Brothers, by Nintendo, funnily enough. Have we ever seen that since? Nintendo releasing a Nintendo game on a non-Nintendo console. Fair enough, this was released in 1983, unless I'm being a complete spanner, the NES wasn't available in 1983, so maybe that's why, but this was basically the first game I bought with my own money. Now, don't ask me how I got however much money it was. We'll say for argument's sake, £25 when I was a 9 or a 10-year-old. Maybe I robbed an old lady, who knows? I did it. But yeah, it was the first game I bought with my own money. Like I say, I just remember seeing it sitting on the shelf and it just jumped out at me. I was like, I want that game. I remember going home, plugging it straight into the Atari 2600, and I was like, oh my god, this is the business. Who is this little man that's going and headbutting all these creatures that are coming out of these wonky pipes? It was amazing. But as far as I know, like I say, released by Nintendo on a non-Nintendo system, it's a bit wonky. Sega does that nowadays, but not Nintendo. It was the first, one of the first sort of platform games as well, I think, and also one of the first, or the first Mario game, if we're not talking about Donkey Kong. And obviously, I think Donkey Kong, it was originally portrayed as a carpenter, and then I thought it looked like plumber's outfit or something like that. So then that's basically designed the whole game around the whole plumber aspect. So you've got the pipes, etc. But decent game. I'm going to stick a video up of it in a bit, and if you've never played it, or you might never have played it actually, you might never have seen it before, depending on how bloody old you are, or young, unlike me, or unlike us old farts. But decent game. Like I say, you have these two pipes at the top, several layers of platforms, these crabs and turtles and other things would come out of these pipes. You donk them from underneath. Unlike today's Mario games, I suppose you still can hit them from underneath, but you hit them from, you can jump on their heads. You couldn't do that in this Mario game. You basically had to hit them from underneath, jump up to the platform where they were, punt them off the platform, then you'd get a little sort of thing that was supposed to look like a coin. It wasn't a coin, it was an Atari 2600, come on. They come out the pipes, you collected that, and you basically done that until you cleared the level. And you also had a little a POW block, or it was called a POW block in later games of the Atari 2600. It was just a little square, you hit that and it basically knocked all the enemies off upside down, so you could go clear them up. But it was an amazing game. It was a two-player game as well, but yeah, a bit of a random waffle, but that was the first computer or video game Now, before anybody does this, you're not allowed to say it was one of those little Tiger Electronics handheld things or Game & Watch. That doesn't count. I mean, proper computer game for a Spectrum or a Atari 2600 or a Intellivision or something along those lines. Has to be one of those, not like a handheld thing, because that's cheating. So yeah, that was mine. It was Mario Brothers for the Atari 2600, made in 1983 by Nintendo. So curious, what was the first game you ever bought?